What happens when Ukraine turns a single $500 drone into a weapon capable of destroying $500 million in Russian ammunition? On August 16, 2025, the southern front of Russia learned the answer: fast. A perfectly calculated strike obliterated 2 million pounds of ammunition and 6 elite Russian infantrymen in just 94 seconds, shattering Moscow's strategic plans days before a critical international peace summit. This is the full story of how precision, intelligence, and ingenuity combined to create one of the most consequential operations of the war. At 4 a.m. local time, August 16, 2025, Russia's southern front woke to a nightmare. In less than 2 minutes, 6 elite infantry soldiers were eliminated alongside 2 million pounds of ammunition, valued at roughly $500 million. The target was the Malipole depot, a strategic hub central to Russia's war operations in southern Ukraine. This warehouse wasn't just a stockpile, it was the logistical heartbeat of the southern front, supplying between 30 and 50% of all small arms, artillery shells, and rockets destined for the Zaporizhzhia corridor and Crimea. Intelligence indicated that the stockpile was not simply for resupply. Moscow was amassing this ammunition for a concentrated offensive aimed at breaking Ukrainian lines just days before a two-nation peace summit. In essence, losing Malipole meant losing the operational edge for thousands of troops, essentially taking away the keys to a large portion of the Russian army's firepower. Russia, confident in the security of this strategic nerve center, had fortified it extensively. Layers of air defenses protected the depot. The Pancer S1 multi-million-dollar system provided surface-to-air coverage, while rapid-firing Zu-2-3-2 anti-aircraft guns established overlapping defensive rings. Electronic warfare protection came via the Boris Olepsk 2 system, specifically designed to detect and jam UAVs. Every conceivable defense had been implemented. Moscow assumed that this fortress was untouchable. What Russia did not anticipate was that Ukraine would not rely on sheer firepower, but precision and planning. The tool that ultimately breached this fortress was a small $500 FPV drone, likely a hybrid 3D Tech Reeboth model. This operation was not a matter of luck. It was the product of 12 days of meticulous planning by Ukraine's HUR intelligence service, executed with methodical precision. The operation began with intensive reconnaissance. Maxar satellite imagery provided detailed overhead views, while a Lakika 100 reconnaissance drone loitered at 6,500 feet with a 60-mile range to map electronic signals. On the ground, local partisans monitored traffic and confirmed the presence of the depot's 2 million-pound payload and its intended use in a planned offensive. Once the target was verified, Ukraine implemented a misdirection campaign. Fake radio traffic suggested that a large-scale Ukrainian attack would target Kherson, located roughly 100 miles to the west. Moscow responded predictably, repositioning elite units, including a team of 6 naval infantrymen and the Akhmat Vasto UAV squad, into Malipole, believing the depot to be secure. The first attempt to monitor the target truck via Russian CCTV failed when cyber defenses detected the intrusion. Ukraine immediately switched to Plan B, using a Starlink uplink to relay real-time coordinates from the partisans stationed 2 miles from the depot. The Reeboth drone launched, carrying a 10-pound warhead and unspooling a 6-meter fiber optic cable to maintain a secure control link. A sudden 20 miles per hour crosswind forced operators in Kyiv to recalibrate the AI guidance system in real time. The drone's 4 rotors executed thousands of micro-adjustments per second, while the pilot manually compensated for lateral drift to maintain a straight course. For 30 tense seconds, the operation relied on precise synchronization between human input, AI control, and environmental factors. Phase 2 involved distraction. Ukraine deployed 5 inexpensive $200 decoy drones 5 miles from the depot, programmed to broadcast signatures mimicking a large-scale swarm. The Pancer S1 system reacted, launching 657 E-6 missiles at a cost of $60,000 each, essentially a $360,000 response to a handful of inexpensive decoys. While Moscow's defenses engaged the decoys, the Reeboth drone approached under the radar at just 130 feet. The Boris Olepsk 2 electronic warfare system detected the drone's optical signature but could not interrupt the fiber optic feed. The drone's operator switched it to fully dark mode, severing the RF link and relying entirely on the fiber optic connection. Despite ongoing 20-mile-per-hour gusts, the operator stabilized the drone and received real-time confirmation from the partisan team. Russian units were distracted, joking, and unaware of the immediate threat. The kill box was now open. Through the Reeboth's 1080p fiber optic feed, the operator observed the target truck carrying the 6 Marines and Akhmat Vasto team approaching the depot. The unit stopped precisely as planned in front of the warehouse doors. At this moment, the Russian air defenses remained fully engaged with the decoys, unaware that the real threat was directly overhead. Complications arose when a Russian FPV patrol drone detected the Reeboth's thermal signature 2 miles from the target, triggering intensified jamming from the Boris Olepsk 2. The Reeboth's fiber optic cable became snagged on a power pole, creating a highly precarious situation. A Grad rocket fired by a panicked Russian crew exploded nearby, generating a shockwave that destabilized the drone's already compromised cable. The operator executed a rapid response, leveraging the snagged cable to maneuver around a nearby warehouse and break the enemy's line of sight. Concurrently, a Starlink command directed the partisan team to illuminate a secondary decoy with a laser designator, drawing the Russian patrol away. The operator regained control and maintained a hard lock on the truck despite environmental and electronic interference. As the Russian patrol neared 500 feet from the drone and with the fiber optic cable stretched taut, the operator committed to the final run. The drone advanced at 37 miles per hour, hugging a ruined building to remain concealed. The partisans confirmed that all nearby Russian units were focused on decoys, leaving the depot and the target truck exposed. The final countdown proceeded precisely as calculated. The Reeboth drone struck the truck's engine block, initiating the detonation sequence. Its 10-pound shaped charge ignited the truck's fuel tank, which in turn triggered the 2 million pounds of ammunition stored within the depot. The result was an instantaneous, concentrated thermal and kinetic release. A 5,000 psi wall of force coupled with a 30,000 degree Fahrenheit thermal pulse that vaporized everything at the epicenter. The truck and all personnel aboard were obliterated, leaving a 100-foot deep crater. Secondary explosions continued for 3 minutes as Grad rockets cooked off in their crates, creating widespread destruction across the industrial area. Russian emergency response units arrived to find total loss. The depot, intended as the backbone of a preemptive strike, was completely neutralized before any offensive could be launched. Strategically, the operation disrupted Moscow's supply chain for 10,000 troops, severing the critical logistics corridor between Crimea and Zaporizhzhia. In financial terms, a $500 drone effectively neutralized a $500 million asset, a 1 million to 1 return on investment. The destruction removed 3 weeks of critical ammunition stockpiled for a planned offensive, fundamentally altering operational plans and giving Ukraine a decisive tactical and psychological advantage. The precision and planning of the operation highlight multiple key takeaways. The integration of human intelligence from local partisans, the use of commercial satellite and drone reconnaissance, electronic warfare deception, AI-assisted UAV control, and a flexible contingency strategy allowed Ukraine to overcome formidable physical and electronic defenses. Every step, from the initial intelligence gathering to the final detonation, was executed with redundancy and adaptability. For analysts, this strike provides a case study in modern precision warfare. The combination of low-cost, high-effect systems and real-time human oversight demonstrates the changing calculus of battlefield effectiveness. It underscores that even highly fortified, multi-layered defense installations can be compromised through integrated intelligence, electronic warfare misdirection, and innovative UAV deployment. Operationally, the attack also demonstrates the impact of misdirection and perception management. By simulating a large-scale offensive elsewhere, Ukraine drew elite Russian units into a trap, showing the efficacy of coordinated electronic and physical deception in shaping enemy behavior. The simultaneous management of environmental factors, drone, AI, and human control demonstrates a level of operational sophistication that is increasingly relevant for modern conflicts. In conclusion, the Malipole strike on August 16, 2025, serves as a textbook example of how a small, agile, and highly informed force can achieve disproportionate effects against a conventionally stronger opponent. The outcome halted Russia's planned preemptive offensive, degraded its southern front logistics, eliminated elite personnel and UAV assets, and demonstrated a massive return on technological and operational investment. This is not a narrative of luck or improvisation. It is a calculated, meticulously executed operation that underscores the evolving nature of high-precision modern warfare.